Well, I'm kind of half and half. I don't think you should fight all the battles because I think that's part of growing up.
Yeah.
And I'm very, you know, I hate confrontation. I'm not confrontational. So anyone can say anything they want about me and I go, yeah, whatever. Not bothered, too tired, don't care. But when it comes to my children, if anyone says anything about them, even if they're cool about it, I feel my shackles go.
Yeah.
And I feel this tigress come out. And there was one time, I mean, me and all my sisters have always been really close and we've had our little spats and all that, but nothing major. And then about 5 years ago, me and one of my sisters, she criticised Shane, who was 22 at the time. And he was fine, but she wouldn't let it lie. And then he started to get a bit embarrassed. And obviously I've brought him up to be respectful to his auntie, you know, so he wasn't going to shout back at her.
Yeah.
And I just blew, and it went for about an hour. No one had ever heard me shout before.
Wow.
Kira came down crying because she'd never heard me shout. Ray was just like... He went, you must feel better. And I was like, no, I feel so worn out. But it really brought it home to me that do and say what you want about me, but do it about my children and you won't.
And also the
live.
fact that, you know, Shane's in his 20s.
Yeah.
And are you still, obviously your daughters are 20s and 30s.
Yes,
Are you still the same?
I'm a pathetic mum. I will stand the ground for my children no matter what. And I want to believe in them. I want them to believe in themselves. There was an incident when my youngest daughter at one time was let go from a job, and as far as I was concerned, I didn't care what had happened. I said to her, well, that job wasn't good enough for you and you will find something else, because I want her to believe in herself. I saw her crushed little face and I want her to believe in herself. So I am very strong about defending them.
Yeah.
But I do think, and I think we've all got children, it sometimes depends on the personality of the children. Because I've got one, to be quite frank, I do fight her battles, but she's mostly fought them first. Got another one who would not fight any battle, would just, you know, and I'm like an animal.
You don't fight them. You wouldn't fight them if you thought they were wrong.
If
like,
they were
if I think my kids are wrong, I'll tell them they're wrong.
If they're completely wrong, of course you have to tell them they're wrong. But if there's something that has happened and you can defend them, they are your children. You have brought them up to know right, to do right. But as a mother, my problem is I should have let them go a long time ago, and they're still my children.
Yes,
Can you believe I'm talking about two adult women?
And whereas yours are a lot younger, so...
yeah, I mean, my girls are 15 and 10, and I think from about 4, I was just like, you know, I think it's a very good skill to have, to be able to defend yourself. I believe that, you know, it's it's a life skill that's very important and something that has definitely served them well. And now, you know, they're very good at defending themselves, standing their ground, speaking up, and, you know, I want them to be brave. I don't want them to feel, you know, scared of, I don't know, saying their point of view or being honest.
Have you stuck up for them at all in any times where they can't defend themselves?
You know, I feel like there are certain times. So, for instance, this summer, my youngest was told that she couldn't participate in the sports day because she kept winning the races, and she needed to give the other kids a chance. And I was just like, well, would they say that to Usain Bolt? And so, you know, I did go into the school because, for the same reasons, I don't feel that it's right for my child to disrespect her teacher.
Yeah.
But I did have something to say about that, and she participated and she won.
You see, that makes sense, because that's fighting, you know, a child's battle against a grown-up in a sort of, you know, in an organisation. But when it comes to kids' battles against other kids, I remember years ago, Finley was only about 8 or something. We were on some holiday in Spain or whatever in a hotel, and there was a magician on. And at the time, he was really into magic, and he had this little trick that he could do. And he did a trick for some of the kids that were there. And there were these older kids, and they were doing that sneery thing and looking. And then one of them sort of went like that to him. And bless him, he was only this skinny wee boy. And I went over and I could see the mums looking as well and kind of sniggering and not doing anything about it. So I went over to the little boy who'd been particularly nasty, and with a great big smile on my face just said, "You touch my son one more time, and I'm going to have words with you." Do you understand what I'm saying? Oh, like that. Good boy. That's right. And then I just sat back and looked at the mum. Because that's just rude. But what's so interesting is if it's me, I don't
wouldn't
fight
do that?
I would never fight my own battles. I'm rubbish. I'm the last to come forward if it's me. But you're right. It's like a lioness comes
Physical.
out.
It's a physical challenge, isn't it?
Yeah, don't mess with the mamas.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.